Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about the youth's voice. What a thinker. This is something that we need to think about. So, luckily for me, I have a special guest here, Troy, who's going to be helping me think about this in another way so that we can just realize how important the youth's voice really are. So, Troy, when you hear the words youth voice, what does that make you think about?
Oh, what makes me think about youth voice, and I think about empowerment and motivation and inspiring and because and also taking initiative.
Yes, yes, taking initiative. I think that's beautiful because people don't talk about initiative. You know what I mean? We talk about motivation, but then you forget about that initiative. You know what I mean? You kind of have to have that initiative to keep going or that initiative to just even start. You know what I mean? And people don't
Yeah.
realize that. So it's like, what made you become a youth activist?
And what made me a youth activist was like way back in 2021 when I did a work experience placement back at my special needs college to work with my local council to help respite services for young people with special educational needs and disabilities. And it really made me passionate about it because I was actually shy at first, thinking
Okay.
actually because thinking like oh, is this going to be great for me? Am I going to be motivated to do this? Am I going to be inspired? Because I was like the shy young person, like I'm just like not really like trying to get involved. But once I spoke to young people, I spoke about their thoughts about making respite services better and what to do, it kind of made me think, okay, I can do this. This will be fun. Like it was like, it must be great to get involved in. So I did that work experience placement, and I mean after that, I was like, I want to do it again. I want to, to have my voice heard even more. So I did that work experience again, but in a different way, where we set up a participation group for young people with special educational needs and disabilities in my local area, and called Shout the Change. And that really gave me a voice. It gave me a way of being myself and a way to just have a voice and also to express my feelings and to also inspire others to express their voice.
That's beautiful because I think when you start turning the tables away from yourself and your focus, and you realize, like, okay, I am shy. This is new. This is a little nerve-wracking. But as soon as you start focusing on, like, how can we make this experience better? How can we help you? And you felt so much empowerment from just knowing that you can help somebody in some way, even in the slightest form, like, oh, dimming the lights, or can I get a glass of water? Or something so simple can give you so much empowerment just because your focus is no longer on yourself anymore. And when that gives you that motivation, like, I can keep on going, you realize that your voice does matter. You know what I mean? It makes you
Yeah.
realize, like, I have more power and control of my actions and my thoughts than what you ever thought before. Because how long did it take for you to go from shy to kind of like out of your shell?
I think it really got me, I think, time to actually do that. I think actually, and by the moment I did that work experience first thing with that respite services one, I kind of very much be able to have that confidence, able to talk to young people because I didn't know how to talk to young people back then, in that level. So it was so different for me to like say and what needs to happen and very much and speak to the young people. I mean, because I think the young people actually taught me a lot of things along the way because about
Mm,
myself, and it really got me
mhm.
thinking and really got me out of my comfort zone of being shy and actually being honest about myself and also supporting the young people, but also the young people supporting me.
That's beautiful. See, people don't realize that. Like you don't realize like it's like a two-way street right there because you didn't realize that those people were going to help you. That they were going to provide you something that you didn't even know you needed. And look at you giving right back in return, giving something that they didn't even know they needed either. And I think that's the beauty of community, and that's the beauty of stepping out of your boundaries and I mean out of your comfort zone and what you're used to, because when you do that, you really create a ripple effect because now you're out doing more work in your community. You could have stayed quiet, you could have not done nothing, but you decided, no, I'm gonna make this matter go forward. And now look at you doing greater things. So what is the biggest like memory that holds on to you that you feel is shows that the youth voice does make a difference?
Hmm. I could repeat that last question.
Say that again. You need
I
me to
could repeat the
repeat it?
last question for me. Hmm.
Yeah, the question was, what experience do you remember that proves that youth voice make a difference? That you've seen it show and like happen in real life that youth voice can make a difference.
Hmm. Are young people being leaders and being the future leaders? Because actually, young people are the future leaders. They're going to make a difference in their communities. They're going to inspire other young people to get involved in being part of participation groups, even in projects about climate change or education system to make it better and inclusive, and other issues to really get young people involved in making a difference in the community. And I think it's just actually professionals listening to us young people about the issues and actually talking to us about it because we have a real lived experiences. Yes, professionals know what they're talking about, but actually we know what we're talking about. We're the young people who are going through this, and we should be able to have a voice and actually be heard in that way.
That's true. That's true. So why do you think people the youth are so scared or they stay silent? What keeps them from staying silent?
I think and what actually makes them feel silent is that they actually feel like they're not going to get listened to. And they feel like actually our professionals and the government are not going to take the issue seriously on what they suggest. And they're just going
Yeah,
to write it down, but they're not going to take action on it. And then actually they're thinking to themselves, what's the point in actually having a voice? If the higher up people and the people who are making decisions for us are not actually helping us in having our voice heard and actually taking to account what we're saying and what we want to make change in our communities. And because and across the UK and wide under.
that's true. That's very true. That's a very good point because that fear of of being silent or not being heard, it just, like you said, it makes you feel like, what's the point? Why even waste my breath? But I think when you find the right group who takes you seriously, you can really move mountains. You know what I mean? Youth can really change things. I mean, they already are. If you really think about it, the youth is really grabbing this world, you know what I mean? And making sure that they are being heard. And I think that's something that haven't been done in the past generations before, because I feel like now there's a different shift of perspective. You know what I mean? Realizing like how
Yeah.
important the youth is. And like, yes, the older generation, they hold value, they hold wisdom, they hold experience, but the youth see things in a different perspective that we're able to just take a step back and realize like, oh, I didn't see it from that point of view. And I think that's the beauty of youth's voice is that they're able to give the older generation that perspective shift that oh, yeah, it's black and white, but you're missing all the gray in between. You're missing every other shade that's in between this black and white photo. And that's the beauty of just having this open communication and having this line available is a great thing. So since you know I love quotes, I'm a quote queen. I love posting quotes, sharing quotes, having people tell me their thoughts on a quote. So I have a quote here for you that I would like to hear your thoughts on what it makes you think about. The quote goes, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." What does that make you think about?
It actually just makes me think about how actually young people are the future leaders, like I said, and
Mm.
how actually young people's voices matter in whatever form. And they are the leaders of tomorrow. And they're the ones who are going to make a difference for forever. And they're the ones who are going to make decisions on what's best for young people. And they're the ones who are going to make a difference to young people and who are going to make a change in everyday life.
I think that's perfectly interpreted. I like that perspective very much on that quote because we, I mean, I'm in like, I don't know. I'm still young. I'm gonna just claim it. I know I'm not youth, but I'm still young at heart. And I strongly appreciate young folks just coming out and just expressing themselves and voicing themselves and just not being afraid and tapping into that courage because it brings courage back to our generation and the generations behind before me, because if you, like I said earlier, brings that perspective shift, we can start evolving in such a way that we really need. Like, we need to evolve. We need to continue to learn from our mistakes and not allow history to continue to repeat itself. Like, why is history repeating itself in a different time, in a different color, in a different shade? It shouldn't necessarily be that situation, but it seems like for some reason it is because it's some type of comfort. You know what I mean? We're comfortable with old chaos. We're comfortable with that. And I feel like now we are trying to break those bad habits. So, what is one of your biggest pet peeves in life?
I think it's actually just like, are people not listening to me? And people actually not actually I take into account what I got to say, even though I've got learning disability and autism, because it sometimes can feel like isolating. It can feel like no one's actually listening to me, and no one's listening to what I got to say, and no one's taking away my views and my opinions and what I want to see change in my community because I'm disabled.
Yeah, your disability should not be your identity. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be your
Yeah.
identity because it's not all that you are. It's a part of who you are that affects who you are, but it's not all that you are. Like you have a shoulder, but doesn't mean your whole entire body's a shoulder. You're not just a shoulder. You are more than a shoulder. You are a whole being. So embrace that whole being. Allow people to embrace it. So yeah, I absolutely agree. If you don't listen to the words that I have to say, that's going to irk my soul. It's going to bother me too because why am I talking then? You know what I mean? Why
Yeah.
am I even would have a better conversation with a tree or a wall than you who's just looking at me like, why are we having this conversation? So yes, I absolutely agree. It is the biggest pet peeve. So if you could tell your younger self anything, what would you tell your younger self?
I would say to my younger self to never give up on what you believe in and always be who you are and never let your disability define you because actually you're positive and you're making change and you're making a voice and you're actually inspiring others to make a voice and others to take a stand and for you to be who you are and not let people bring you down. So I would say for myself, just like and be the leader that you always wanted to be and be the youth activist that you always wanted to be and to make the change that you want and to never let anyone tell you that you're not good enough as you are good enough.
Exactly. Yes, you are good enough. Shame on anybody who dares to say different, right? Shame on
Yeah.
you, the finger of shame. Oh, that's so funny. So what's your choice of medicine? Like, how do you calm yourself down? How do you zen, Troy?
Well, I very much listen to calmer music.
Mm,
And actually, I'm writing poetry and writing poems, and actually, I think because also and stories that resonate with me, and actually about my lived experiences, and just write things on paper. It could be coloring, maybe on Taylor Swift books, or maybe coloring other books, just to really calm myself down and just chill and just actually
yeah.
watch telly as well and just actually wind down from things because sometimes it helps to just have a break from things because sometimes you can do things but then you're like you do need a break to just relax and chill out.
Yeah, that is a great point because sometimes just coloring just refocuses my mind or just reading and just listening to calming music. Sometimes I don't even have words into it. It's just instrumental sometimes just because it brings me back to the reality and where I need to be and where the chaoticness that's going around in our world and the news and the radio stations just constantly giving us information after information, it gets overwhelming. It gets
Mm.
overwhelming. So it's a good way that you found your peace. You found a way to recenter yourself because I feel like that's the best way everyone can start the self-healing process. You can't continuously to fill yourself with things to distract you. when we need to recognize, like, yeah, it's not going good. Well, then get yourself back to center. And that's a great way to do it because you have different avenues. Because sometimes music isn't always working. So then you have poetry, or you have reading, or you have writing. So you could go to different avenues to get that fix of just I need to center myself or to that different level. And I think more people need to think about that in that way. So I appreciate you explaining like it's not just one thing, it's multiple things, that can help me out because man, sometimes it is multiple things, you need to break it up in a day.
And you do, you absolutely do. And it's also actually so important also for to like I spend time with your friends as well and go out with your friends and actually maybe like actually talk to your friends on phone, but also actually spend time with your family and your loved ones and just have that company with them as well. Because actually literally they can make your mental health as well good as well. They can make it better.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another great point to add on too, because that's a great way to center yourself when you're alone, but having that connection that with somebody else is another great way to just get yourself recentered because we can only be in our mind for so long. Trust me, I know I'm queen of overthinking. That's the reason why I have this show.
So I overthink too. And I'm like to myself, I shouldn't overthink because you're overthinking too much. You need to like stop overthinking and think of other things to make it more better and have the strategies in place to make things work.
Exactly. Exactly. That's sometimes I literally have to take a stop, like a break. Like I have to tell myself, I don't need to think about this. I have to say it out loud. My husband just looks at me like, Mitzi, what is wrong with you? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. It's just a lot's going on with my mind. Like, yeah, you need to take a mental break completely. Go upstairs. That's too funny. So what could be your superpower if you could have any type of superpower out there?
Oh, I think I'd say fly. I'm gonna love to
Mm.
fly to places to make things better and to go and make things better and actually just like and see the world and to see what's out there in the world to see if I can be the change maker that I want to be to actually change it and to make things better for everyone around me.
That's a good one. Because yeah, you can fly, but then you're also being like low-key Superman because you're helping people no matter where they are. And that's a good thing to have because let's be honest, everyone needs healing. Everyone needs some type of healing, and everyone needs some type of saving. And just to even save yourself and just escape, like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the Eiffel Tower and back, or the Grand Canyon and back. I'll see you in a bit. You know what I mean? I'll see you when I
Yeah.
see you. So that's a good one. That's a really good one. I really enjoyed this. So I guess to start wrapping up the show, because this has been such a great conversation. I really did enjoy this. Thank you. What can be some lasting words of wisdom that you can leave us off with?
I'm gonna leave you off with actually just like and be yourself. Never give up. And because I'm literally doing literally lots of other youth voice groups locally and nationally, and I love it. And do something that makes you happy and not something that someone's like trying to tell you to do. Like you got to just be yourself, inspire to be who you want to be, and just make a difference and empower others to.
Exactly. There you go. I think that's beautifully said as well. Thank you, Troy. Goodness, what a conversation. You never know how these conversations are really going to go. You don't, but I really did have a great one because goodness, it was just so easy. I feel like I had more questions. I'd keep on asking you them.
So good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to check out more about Troy, I have his socials available. You could check him out, follow him, keep up with everything that's going on, because that's the beauty of social media and just the internet and technology nowadays. We can keep up with each other, and it's a great way to just voice yourself as well. So check him out, and always, always, always keep thinking, y'all.